Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So in this video, I will explain about what is Azure App Services. Azure App Services is an HTTP based service of hosting application like web app, REST API and mobile application. Let me quickly explain you the architecture of the app services. For the app services to run, you need to have an app service plan which is also a resources that needs to be installed within that resource group. So this app service plan provide you the compute resources for your web app application to run. Once you install your app services inside that app service plan, it will basically generate the front end URL for your user to access that front end URL. When the user in this URL, that will go as a request to your app service, your app services will honor that request and send back as a response. In the existing architecture, you see that user can access the app services directly by hitting the URL, which means that it is not completely protected. In order to protect your app services, there is a concept called Azure API management. Azure API management gives you the option to protect your app services through your front-end URL. The user, instead of accessing through a app service direct URL, this will act as a proxy URL for the user to access, and this URL will redirect to the respective app services. So Azure API management not only will act as a proxy URL, but also it will help you to create the APIs like get post methods, and also you can create multiple APIs based on the product. And then I told you that the Azure API management also restrict users based on the policies. These policies could be very well outbound or inbound policies based on the IP's range. For example, if you wanted to restrict these app services should be accessed only by the specific set of users, or the based on the IP ranges, that IP ranges can be given in the inbound and outbound policies. There are various policies which is available in the Microsoft Azure portal. I would definitely request you to go through that list of policies which is needed for your application need. So this Azure API management has to be installed. When you install Azure API management, it will generate the URL. That URL will be replaced as the front-end URL for the user. So the existing app service URL will be tied to the respective app services, like what I have shown here. So this entire section will act as a backend service. So in this demo, I just only use the app service, but it could be very well like Azure Function app, Azure Logic app. So for example, when you create a API, something called delete/2 that is associated to this app service. So the user will be hitting the URL something like the API management URL /delete/2. That will go to the respective API management. The API management will go and identify the respective API available within that API management. So it will go and match the corresponding services that matches. So in this example, I'm having only one. So obviously it will go and find out app services here and /delete2. Once this request is taken care, it will send back the response back to the user. I hope you understand the architecture. Let me quickly go into the demo, what I explained in this architecture. Okay, here I'm going to show what exactly I presented in my presentation. I'm going to use that as an example for the live demo. So this is my web application written in Python Flask. And if you look at the main file app.py, I'm going to show that delete what I showed in the presentation. So basically, when you do delete /1 or 2 the account, whatever that is exists, and how that is going to be consumed used in the Azure portal, And also I'm going to show the exactly the same thing in my local too. Okay, in order to do that, I'm going to download this code into my local. So git clone, go back and click here and do this and copy this. Yeah, it will download the code into my local. Once the download is complete, I'm going to the respective folder. So now I downloaded the code into my GitHub account, into my local. So if you look at the directory, there is a file called requirement.txt. So basically this file, let me go back here and show you what is that. So for this application to run in your local, you need to have Python to be installed and the respective module to be installed in your local. So if to make your module to run this module, pip install -r, yeah, it will install those modules in your local. But since I already installed, that's why you are getting a warning saying that it is already exist. Okay, so ignore for that now, and to run this application, run python app.py. Yeah, so this is a web module, web application. So basically I need to run this application using this URL. Okay, so I'm just adding user one, last one, and add. And if you look, if you know the presentation, what I used, I will be deleting this like delete /1. Okay, so if you see here, the earlier I added one entry. When I do delete, it's deleted. So let me show you by refreshing this page. See the record what I added before got deleted since I executed delete /1. Okay, so that is not our objective. Our objective is to show how this application can be installed in the Azure portal. For that, you basically need to have a resource group. Let me log in into my Azure portal. I'm going to create a resource group. I'm going to use, since I have the command already, I'm going to use the same resource group, or G, it can be any name. Okay, I'm going to create invest US, review and create. Okay, I have created the resource group. If you look at here, this resource group does not contain anything. As I told you, in order for the application to run, you need to have your resource group. These are all like a prerequisite, and then you also need to have app service plan. Then you need to have web app services. Okay, now second prerequisite is to install app service plan. Let me go back here home and search for app service. Okay, app service plans. Click that and create. So select the resource group what you have created, and here I'm going to use something SVC. It can be any name. Service plan. Okay, let me keep it like service plan 7 inch. I'm going to keep it under West US, the same region where I've created. I'm going to use the free, basically you have multiple plans. Since it's for the demo, I am using the one which is the least cost. Click review create. It will basically create the service plan. So going back to resource group, the resource group right now, let me refresh it. Yeah, we have the service plan. Now I need to create, if you look at my requirement, I create the resource plan, resource group, app service plan. Now I need to going to create app services. Go back to home, search for services. Yeah, this is the one. So when you go and select, it will basically show 4 options, but you can select based on what you are planning to install. But in this case, it's going to be a web app. I'm going to select a web app. So if you look at here, I'm going to use the resource group what I have created. This name can be anything. Since I have the command already, I'm going to use delete user. This is the web app name what I will be using in my Azure CLI command. So here I can use either of this option. Yeah, I have done using container too, but I'll put a different video how to install your code as a container in the Azure portal. For now, I'm going to use as a code. I'm going to runtime stack. Since my application runs on Python 3.11, I'm going to select that. So this is the one what I said. Your app services, when you select, all the software will be installed as part of the creating your app services, which is basically serve the purpose as platform as a service. Going back, West US. As soon as you select West US, the service plan what we created, it will pop up here. If you have multiple service plan, that many service plan will be shown here. Since I have only one, that's why you are seeing just the service plan what I have created a few minutes back. So review and create. Yeah, it will take like a couple of few seconds, and this will be pretty quick. So going back to your portal, it says complete. So just to confirm, right, go back to your resources. If you wanted to see the list of resources under the resource group, this is the best place to go and check. You have to navigate to the resource group, and if you go and check, you will see all the resources that got created as part of the under that resource group will be shown here. So basically, we install all the requirement what is needed for the application to run. So this is the web app app services what we have created. But this app services does not have any code or anything that we have deployed so far. Our objective is to install the code what is in my local. We need to install that code into these app services. So as I said in my presentation, anything that you install that app services, it will create the app service URL. So that's what I'm going to show. It will show up something here. Since it's just installed, it's taking some time to load. Let me refresh it. Let me pause the video. Okay, yeah, the URLs got created. Yeah, let me go in the URL. It takes some time since this the fresh app services got created. It will take some time, but it will show some default template page like welcome to Microsoft, something like that, but it will not have the same what we have seen here. So our expectation is what we have seen in the local, we wanted to deploy this application under this URL. That is what we are trying to do now. It takes like a few minutes to refresh it. Okay, so this is what your web app is running and waiting for your content. So what we are going to do, we are going to put this web content, what is there in my local, into this app services. Okay, so now this is going to be a front end URL where the user will be accessing this application. Okay, let me go back to my command prompt. So for now, let me stop the app since I need to install it. Let me go and run the command. You look at here, the resource group is the same what I have created, and this is the web app what I have created as per a few minutes back. So let me run this command. Okay, then run the second command. Okay, so right now I'm deploying this code as a zip file. So, but I need to create a zip file. Going back to my folder where I downloaded this code. So copying all, and I'm going to create the zip file. So zip file will be created shortly. Okay, let me go and I'm just copying this command. So right, this is like in the previous state. So when this deployment is happening, we can go and tail the logs in the Azure portal. So going back here under the logs, you can go and check the logs. Okay, if you see here, the package, whatever the Python package that I included as part of the requirement.txt, those modules are getting installed under the web app. The one thing I like to show here, if you look at here, the service plan, in my presentation, I told that it will give you the compute resources to host your web app application. So basically here, the compute resources what we have as part of this service plan, the Linux machine is a Linux based operating system. So where all your app services will be installed inside this Linux operating system. Okay, going back to the logs. Yeah, it's still installing it. Okay, let me go and hit the same URL again. Okay, see, this is the same what we got it, what we saw in our local. We see the same thing over here. User one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this by using the delete command. Delete /1. Okay, it got deleted. So same thing, you can also do this testing in your Postman. I already verified that in my Postman. So let me show you. Okay, let me add few data here. User one, user two. Okay, so I'm basically going to delete the second data here. See, the data second is got deleted. So yeah, you basically you're testing your application using the portal, or if you are like want to test it like using the postman is one of the other stuff where you can pass the header. Okay, but we are not completing here, since our objective is to protect your application URL. Instead of giving a direct URL, I need to protect by using the API management. Let me show you how to install your API management and accessing this application through API management. Let me show you. Okay, I'm back here. So here, search for the API management. API management. Just click this. Click create. So by default, I have only one resource group. That's why it's get pre-populated. Otherwise, you need to select the resource group where you wanted to install your API management. And region, I'm selecting the same US, West US. And then the resource name, it has to be a unique name. So here I'm going to give something like delete user APIM. Okay, it will basically check. Yeah, it's available. Here I'm going to give my name. I am Okay, it can be your org name, and here I'm going to give my email ID. Okay, and then here you can select the pricing tier. I'm selecting developer no SLA. Just one thing I just wanted to tell you that when you are using this for your learning, if you're not using it, please delete it once you complete your learning. This API management is a little bit expensive than the app services. So go and click monitor. So I'll be explaining all this stuff when I go through in detail about the API management. For now, I'm not selecting anything. Yeah, if you wanted to know more about this API management, please subscribe my video where I'll be putting a lot of videos about AZ204. Okay, so I'm not selecting anything for this demo purpose. And if you wanted to protect your app services, you can select the virtual network and you can apply that endpoint to the specific subnet, and you can protect your app services to the specific virtual network. For now, I'm not going to use it. You can secure your app services by using virtual network or private endpoint. So which I'll be covering when I go in detail about the API management full complete session. For now, I'm going to select none. Same for the manage identity. If you wanted to give only few people to access your API management, you can even include them as well. Okay, for now, I'm not selecting any of this. Simply, I'm going to give review and create. So this is a time consuming process. It will easily take 45 to 50 minutes. For now, I'm going to pause this video. Once this is get created, I will show you how to create a API inside the API management. From the API management front-end URL, I will show you how to access the backend API services that I explained earlier in my demo. So this is basically at the end of this creation, it will generate the front-end API management URL. So for now, let me pause. Okay, so the API management service is completed. Let me go back and check. So going back to the resource group, now you see the app services, and also this is the API management what we have created. Click that. Okay, so far we have the app services running. Currently we have two data, and also we have created the API management with a name called delete user APIM. But the APIM is not integrated with the app services. That means when you go in the gateway URL, it will throw that 404. That means your API management is not integrated with the API app services. Our objective is to protect your app services. Instead of user accessing this URL, they need to access the application with this URL. So for that, go back here under the API management services, click the API. As I mentioned before, you can create APIs. Once you create the API, you can that will help you to integrate with your app services. So either you can use HTTP or app services. For this demo, I'm going to use app services, which is easy to integrate. So going back here, browse, it will tell what is the API app to import. Since I already have this delete user, that is the app name. If you remember that this is the app name, you go back here. Let me go back here. Under the resource group, my app name is delete user. So that is what exactly it is showing up here. So click this and do a select and give create. Okay, and then here under this one, I'm going to create a post method, post operation. So here, click this pencil box. If you go back to my Python script, I have something called delete slash. If you look at my Python script, delete slash the number. Okay, so basically that is what I'm going to do. So go back here, delete slash, let me make it 2 and save. Okay, for now I'm going to disable the subscription required. So I will explain all these details later in my future videos, where I will be giving the complete details about the API management. For now, save it. Okay, so which means you are going to, when the user, while accessing this URL, it's basically going to access this particular one. Okay, previously what we got is 404. Let me go and hit the URL again. See, so now it is integrated. The user, instead of accessing it from this, they are calling it from this URL. Okay, so even you can protect this URL by making it as a private endpoint, which I will show you sometime in the future in my upcoming video. Okay, going back here, I basically need to delete, put slash delete 2. So even we can do this operation going here, and when you do a test, it will going to do the same thing. Okay, if you go and click here, test and post and send this, forget about this error for now. But when you go and hit here, let me show you. Instead of before hitting that command, see, now the user 2 got removed. Okay, if I want to change this API management, going back to the settings, not going back, going back to click this one, go back, click here. So instead of 2, delete 1, first data. So save it. Now I'm accessing my API management front-end URL slash delete slash 1. Okay, first data got deleted. I hope you understand this video and you understand the importance of API management. So yeah, don't worry, I will be giving the complete details about the API management in my upcoming video. And similarly for the app services, There are a lot of features like CI/CD, automated deployment slot, app settings. Everything will be explained in detail in all my subsequent videos. Please, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe it. Thank you.